Hello, welcome back to Let's Play Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, Justice for All. I'm Luigi Van 64D, and it's time for the trial. Nick? Yeah? Did you know that Von Karma's daughter is only 18? Just like me? Yeah. Why? I was just thinking about how strong she is. I mean, she's been in Germany all this time all by herself, and she's so grown up. Yeah, and I'm sure she felt a lot of pressure from her father's reputation. And then you look at me, and, well, I'm the daughter of the master, but I'm still just a little girl. And on top of that, I'm the suspect in a murder trial. But I think you're really strong too, Maya, for all you've gone through. Good morning. The two of you look like you're doing well today. I'm happy for you. Hey, morning, Pearly. You'll be safe today, Mystic Maya. Huh? What do you mean? My mother's coming today to show her support. Yeah, that's right, Pearly. Hey, Pearls. Yes, Mr. Nick? Do you think you could do me a big favor? Could you channel Mia today, too? Huh? I was sort of hoping I could sit in the audience today and watch. Please, it's very important to me. I don't feel confident enough without her help. Mr. Nick, that's enough. You can't show weakness in front of the person you love. Pearly, not this again. Please, can you do this for us, Pearls? Alright, I'll do it. I'll do it for Mystic Maya's sake. See you later then. I'll leave you two with your alone time. Thank goodness. Nick? This way. Pearls won't be able to see today's trial. What do you mean? What's going on? There's no way I can just tell her that her aunt wanted her to get stuck in jail. Alright then. Court is now in session for the trial of Maya Fey. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Let's start already. Mr. Phoenix Wright, I look forward to tonight's news with great joy. The image of your defeated face will be transmitted all over the world. All over the world, huh? Sounds like you've made quite a name for yourself, Phoenix. Don't be foolish, you foolish fool wearing the foolishly foolish clothes. The famous one is me. I'm the prodigy who has never lost a case since becoming a prosecutor 5 years ago. Naturally, the world's eyes are on me as I conduct my first trial in this country. Uh-huh. That's nice, Miss Von Karma. I'm glad to see you're in such good spirits today, Miss Fey. Oh, it's true what they say. Women really are scary when they fight. Now then, a very interesting theory was presented during yesterday's session. That's the defendant could have left the channeling chamber, correct? Yes. And this key is proof of that. This key, the only key in the channeling chamber, was not where it should have been. Your Honor, I would like to say one thing before we begin. Alright, let's hear it. The prosecution has determined that from the time of the murder to the time of the arrest, the defendant did indeed leave the room at one point. What? They agree to it? But, Miss Von Karma, then how do you explain this picture? Are you saying, then, that the person in this picture is not the defendant? I never said that it wasn't the defendant. Then what is the meaning of this? All I'm saying is that Maya Fey, after killing the victim, exited the room. And I believe that is when she dropped this key. Can you substantiate your claim? Isn't that what I'm here for? The prosecution would like to call the defendant's aunt, Morgan Fey, to the stand. Just as I suspected. Morgan Fey. Aunt Morgan. Poor Mia. She seems really torn by this. Witness, name and occupation. My name is Morgan Fay, and I am a spirit medium, in a manner of speaking. I'm sorry, but what do you mean, in a manner of speaking? Ugh! I don't think anyone really cares. Now then, after the murder took place, you kept watching out for the defendant, correct? Yes, that is correct. I performed the spirit severing technique on Mystic Maya then. Spirit severing technique? A technique to remove a spirit from a body and send it back to the other world, that is. Yes, that is. You, be quiet. Now, witness. Something happened while you were performing this technique, correct? Yes, that is correct. What in the world could have... Mystic Maya. She escaped from the room. What? And here we come to the heart of the matter. Maya Fey, while being in the possessed state, managed to escape from the channeling chamber. That wasn't how it happened. Order, order, order! Miss Fey, please testify to this court what happened during that time. Your Honor, I will try my best. I think someone just upped the ante on this trial. Maya's escape. After we heard the gunshots, those two broke the door open and entered the chamber. I requested that Mr. Wright and the other lady please contact the police. A pistol was hanging from the Mystic Maya's hand as she was in a daze. Then, quite suddenly, she thrusted me away from herself and escaped from the room. With great strength, she hit the base of my neck and I fainted for a short while. I'm afraid I have no knowledge of where she went after that. Ugh. Why have you hidden this until now? I did not wish to cause more trouble for Mystic Maya. However, I must correct falsities when they arise. That's right. She is simply correcting a falsity, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Why is she making it a point to take a stab at me? Never mind. Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, please. My aunt is a very smart and sly person. It's going to be hard for us to find a crack in her testimony. But there has to be one. After we heard the gunshots, those two broke the door open and entered the chamber. Just now, you said those two. Who were those two people you were referring to? I was referring to that foreign lady and yourself, good sir. Lotta's not a foreigner, despite how she talks. Oh, is that so? I'm sorry. I simply could not understand her atrocious English, not to mention she looked awful. I can already see people in the Heartland gearing up for a riot. In any case, I have already sent a repair bill to your office, Mr. Wright. Oh, thanks. What did you do after that, Miss Fey? I requested that Mr. Wright and the other lady please contact the police. Was it really necessary to have two people do something as so simple as call the police? If there was a possibility of escape, then one of us should have stayed behind. Yes, that is a very good point. At that time, I myself was a little confused. On top of which, there was another. Another what, madam? Oh, it's nothing. No need to concern yourself. I want to hear the end of that sentence. There was another reason you wanted both of us out of the room, wasn't there? Ugh. You must testify! What did you chase us out of the room for? I simply did not wish for there to be more victims. The lives of both the good sir and the camera woman may be in danger, is what I thought to myself. Well, that is very noble of you, Miss Fey. This is bad. Now people have a good impression of her, and a bad one of us. Looks like she caught us napping. That's my aunt for you. Are you satisfied now, Mr. Wright? Miss Faye, please continue. A pistol was hanging from Mystic Maya's hand, and she was in a daze. During our investigation, you stated that you struck the defendant on the head? And this strike caused Miss Maya to lose consciousness. Do you stand by this statement? I'm afraid I don't. The statement I gave you was a lie. Huh? But why would you lie about something like that? It is very painful for me to say this, however... Objection! The witness was lying to cover for the defendant. She was covering for Maya? Are you sure? So you were covering for the defendant? Well, yes. It was only later that I was informed of what had occurred. That the renegade Mystic Maya had done something very unexpected. Something unexpected? What, pray tell, did... Ugh! This witness didn't and couldn't have seen what happened. If you want to know what was expected, what the unexpected thing was, there is always later. Yes, very well. Why does it suddenly feel like there's a rock in the pit of my stomach? Now, witness, continue with what happened. It was quite suddenly, she thrusted me away from herself to escape from the room. Was it really that easy for her to escape from you? I'm ashamed to admit to such a thing, however, yes. But you are physically larger and stronger than the defendant. There is no way she could have escaped from you so easily. Objection! Have you forgotten already, Mr. Phoenix Wright? What about this picture? Remember that at the time, the defendant was not physically Maya Fey. Ugh! Growing old is such a mysterious thing. Trust me, I know firsthand. Basically, Mystic Maya's body is still that of the nurse she had called. But if she had run away, wouldn't you have given chase right away? Well, yes, I would have. However, with great strength, she hit the base of my neck and I fainted for a short time. Huh? You fainted? I became dizzy and then collapsed onto the floor. How long were you unconscious? I'm not sure. About 10 minutes, perhaps. And the defendant almost certainly went somewhere in that time. Happy? Witness, elaborate on the point for us. I'm afraid I have no knowledge of where she went after that. Is that because you were unconscious? Why, yes. Great. Well, now what? You got me this far. So while you were unconscious, you have absolutely no idea where the defendant went. I would think that's obvious, good sir. If that's true, then how can you know for sure the defendant left the channeling chamber at all? Now that you mentioned it, I have to wonder myself. It's true that this witness is not able to confirm this. But the key here, the word here is this witness. What do you mean by that? It means she has another witness up her sleeve. That's what. It looks like Miss Von Karma is ready to move on to her next witness. That's enough. From what I can tell, there is nothing wrong with this is testimony. And from what she has said, we can establish that Maya Fey did leave the chamber. I hope this isn't going to come back and bite us in the butt. Now, let's take the next logical step and ask. Where did the defendant go after leaving the channeling chamber? Yes. That is exactly what we should... Be quiet, you! Now then, what the escapee had done was she had gone to speak with a certain person. She went to speak with someone? Who was it? The prosecution calls Miss Eeny Meeny to the stand, who was sleeping in the side room at the time. Eeny Meeny? I think you can see where this is headed. Oh, it's her. Witness, name and occupation. Okay, so my name is, Eeny Meeny. I'm, researching, parapsychology stuff at the, university. What is the parapsychology? Let's see. It's like, I guess, most people call it the occult stuff. Even when it's the most people call it, I can't say I understand what that means. Then I suggest you go home and research it yourself. Yes, sir. Now then, Miss Miney. After that murder took place, you spoke with the defendant, Maya Fey. Is this correct? Well, like, I guess, if that's the case, then let's hear your testimony. That is alright, isn't it, Your Honor? Yes, sir. For the love of all things good, Your Honor, have some spine! For my sake! Like, after the murder? Like, when the channeling started, I was, like, sleeping in the side room. Like, a little later, someone came into the room, like, really suddenly. I was like, oh my gosh, totally my sister. I like, hadn't seen her in, like, so long. I was so happy in, like, a sad way. My sister, she, like, told me something, like, totally terrible. Now hold your horses, young lady. You're saying the person that entered you was your sister? Don't you mean the defendant, Maya Fey? Really now, Your Honor. Maya Fey was still in the middle of channeling at that time. Are you saying that the spirit was the spirit of the witness's sister? Yes, Mimi Miney. She was the nurse at Dr. Gray's clinic. Oh, well, this is... Witness. Like, yeah? In your testimony, you mentioned a terrible thing. Why don't you tell the court what this terrible thing was? I'm sure we'd love to hear about it. Like, do I totally, like, really have to? Of course. Miss Miney, please. My sister, like, this is what she said to me. That was no accident. I was drugged with sleeping pills. I was murdered by that person. That's why I took my revenge. It's only fair, isn't it, Edie? She took her revenge? Are you sure that's what she said? Yes. Are you satisfied, Your Honor? I still can't believe it. I just can't believe that a spirit would go so far as to use a medium route to get revenge. It is a bit hard to swallow. However, all the evidence and testimonies point to this as the truth. The end. No! What do you think, Mr. Wright? It certainly seems like all the loose ends are accounted for. This testimony just now, was it all made up? Was it all just one huge lie? Of course it was, Phoenix. Mia, what do you mean? It's well constructed, but that's all it is. But even the most well-spun lies can be undone. We can do it, Phoenix. Let's find out one loose thread and unwind this tapestry of lies. Your Honor, there is room for doubt, so the defense will cross-examine this witness. Do we believe that our cross-examination will reveal the real truth behind this murder? Yet again, this foolish fool spots even more foolishly foolish trouble. I wonder if you'll make this one more entertaining than the last. I know there's something wrong with this. Like, when the channeling started, I was like sleeping in the side room. Was that because of your sesame allergy, was it? Like, that's right. I think there was sesame seeds like in the lunch they served that day. I had this like premonition that it was going to be totally a seedy day. Yes, indeed. I see. Am I the only one who missed the boat here? Anyway, so you were taking a nap. Did something happen while you were sleeping? Like, a little later, someone came into my room, like, really suddenly. Do you know the time? Like, maybe a little before 11 a.m.? Something like that, I think? 11 a.m.? Yeah, like, my stomach is totally ready for, like, food. No, I think you misunderstood me. I'm not asking what time it is now. I meant what time it was when someone came into your room. Oh, so, like, that's what you meant. Like, you should have been more, like, clear about it. Sorry, my bad. No, it's okay. Like, it's really... Eh? That's it? Why'd you stop mid-sentence? Did I? So, like, what was I talking about again? Never mind. Witness, about this person who entered the side room. It was like, oh my gosh, it's totally my sister. Are you absolutely sure? I guess. You guess? Was it or was it not your sister who entered? Like, I don't know. I mean, like, I totally don't know your sister at all, Mr. Smith. First off, my name is not Mr. Smith. Second, I'm an only child. But more than that, she's managed to mess up the question with her answer. Well, Mr. Wright? But the defense rests... Oh. Well, that was a colossal waste of our time. Now then, witness, how do you feel when you saw Miss Miney? I, like, hadn't seen her in, like, so long. I was, like, happy in, like, a sad way. You were happy in a sad way? Yeah. Like, I mean, it was my sister. But wouldn't most people react here with surprise at seeing a dead loved one alive again? But, like, maybe if I was, like, someone who didn't know about, like, the occult. But I, like, know all about the Korean channeling technique. The point here is the witness immediately recognized that it was her sister. Yeah, like, what has she said? Should I drop this line of questioning? Well, either I drop it now or she does. So you really didn't think anything strange of the whole encounter? No. Like, there wasn't any reason for me to, like, think there was anything strange. But... Don't keep badgering her! You know the phrase, objection? Could you try using it once in a while? Mr. Wright. This question is what the witness felt and what she saw her sister. Is it really that important? A bit. Yes, it's important. It's very important. Although I haven't quite figured it out what it is yet. Give it some time. But I've got to bluff for now and make it seem like I know what I'm talking about. That's how this game works, you see. Alright. Mr. Wright, Miss Mimi, Miss Miney, please amend your testimony. Like, okay. I'm, like, totally cool with that. I wasn't, like, scared at all. It was like her costume looked totally, like, normal. Her costume specifically? So there was nothing odd about at all about your sister's appearance? Like, yeah. Nothing was, like, weird. Huh. Mia's talking to herself like she found something wrong. That's impossible. Like, is everything okay? Can I, like, go on? My sister, she, like, told me something, like, totally terrible. Something terrible? What was this thing she told you? Huh? Like, didn't I just, like, tell you about it? Did you, like, forget already? A foolish fool with a foolish save. On a brain only speaks foolishly with foolish words. Well, excuse me, princess. Anyway, would I want to hear the story again? No, I'm good. I did just hear this story, and it's not like my memory is that bad. Actually, the defense is fine and does not need to hear the story again. Very well. You may continue your testimony, Mrs. Miney. I know there has to be something in here I can use, but where? She really put a lot of thought into this lie, didn't she? We can't rush in. Let's take it slowly, one step at a time. She's bound to slip up somewhere. Don't give up. But don't get careless, okay? Remember, calm and collected. First off, I'm really happy that they threw in the, well, excuse me, princess. That's so good. It's like there wasn't totally anything scary about the costume at all, considering like it's totally covered in blood. That was a very well spun lie, Miss Miney. What are you babbling about this time, Mr. Phoenix, Wright? It's well constructed, but that's all it is. Stealing my lines now, are we, Phoenix? Miss Miney, may I remind you what you just said? You said that there was nothing strange about your sister's appearance. Like, yeah, and? But I don't really think you thought of that at all. Take a look at this picture. This is a picture of the sister you met. I would think that even you would be surprised if someone like this appeared before you. The blood spray. Miss Miney, why did you not include the blood you saw in your testimony? If you were really testifying and not lying, you would have known it right off the bat. Order! Miss Miney, what is the meaning of this? Miss Miney? I'm thinking! Don't interrupt me! And what are you stammering about, Your Honor? Well, that witness! Her personality did a complete 180 there. Lots of people do that when they get on the stand, though. First of all, calm yourself down, witness. I'm sorry. I, didn't mean to snap. Now, hurry up with the testimony. If you please. The judge still looks a little shaken up. A lot of help he's going to be. After the murder, the side room was, kind of dark, you know? So, the costume was, purple, right? Blood totally blended right in. And I, persuaded my sister it wasn't, right to do something like that. And then, I took my sister to the channeling chamber. Yes, now I see. And you have given us a clear reason of why you didn't notice the blood. You think? Thanks, Gramps. And yes, are you satisfied, Mr. Wright? Alright, I guess not. Very well, you may question the witness. There's something really obvious in this. The side room is, kind of dark, you know? Really? Because I thought it was pretty bright inside that room. Objection! Don't push your subjective opinions into this court. That's right. Excuse me? But how is my statement any more subjective than Mrs. Miney's? You are such a hopeless cause. Witness, you may feel free to ignore this trite little man. Okay. Can't breathe. Let me out of here. So, the costume is, purple, right? Blood totally blended right in. No, go back. Go back. Go back. Pardon me. This Mimi totally takes a lot out of my throat. And my mind. My dignity. So you didn't see the blood? You really didn't see it? Yeah. But she must have had the gun with her at that time as well. That's, Are you going to tell me next you didn't notice the gun either? I, totally didn't. All I was looking at was, her face. Continue. And I, persuaded my sister that it wasn't right to do something like that? Really? And what was your sister, Miss Miney, like at the time? Well, she was, totally flipped out, because she just shot Dr. Gray. But I think, like, she knew. She, like, said she did something really bad. And, like, she said she wanted to go with me, too. Like, apologize to Miss Morgan. Did Mimi's spirit really say all that to you? Like, yeah. And then, like, I took my sister to the challenge chamber. Was your sister calm by that time? Like, I guess so. I guess maybe, like, taking her revenge on Dr. Gray, like, made her feel a lot better. I'd like to feel a lot better too, Mr. Phoenix, right? The sooner the better. She says with her whip at the ready. And, like, Miss Morgan was the only one in the challenge chamber, you know? May I ask you one more thing, Mrs. Miney? Like, sure. Was there anything you found strange, unusual, or just out of place? Something out of place? Huh? Like, when do you mean? When? When you were going to the crime scene. Talking about when you were going to the challenge chamber, of course. Like, no, nothing strange. She's answered rather quickly. Now what? I'm gonna take a sip and then press harder. Think harder. I know you can remember something. I, like, totally can't. That's not good enough. You have to explain yourself clearly to this court. Do you think, Mr. Wright, that whether or not there was something odd in the way of the challenge chamber is all that important? It's very important. I ask because it is very important. Not that I know where I'm going with this. Very well. Miss Miney, if you will, please include a statement about this in your testimony. Like, I don't get why, but okay. I, like, didn't see anyone in the way to, like, the challenge chamber. One more time. Try to remember that time. Oh, like, I remember. Like, I totally didn't see anyone in the way. I guess this really is a dead end. Something you finally pull out of the witness is never a dead end, Phoenix. Oh, good. I can't find anything wrong. Phoenix, the judge believes this testimony. If you don't find something sort of hitch in her statements, he'll end the trial. I know. We have to give it another shot. It doesn't matter how many times we listen. We can't give up. I've given her so many times. But you didn't see anyone? You say that you didn't see anyone in the way to the challenge chamber. However, that is impossible. Like, what do you mean? I'd like to introduce someone to you. This is Miss Morgan Fay's daughter, Pearl Fay. Interesting. You have a semi-intelligent look on your face. So, what about this child? It just so happens that at the time of the murder, Pearl was playing in the center garden. The garden? Yep. Which means anyone walking through that area would have to have seen her. So, Miss Miney, what do you have to say to that? As the court can see, she's a bit of an airhead. Also, she was leading her sister at the time. Do you honestly think she would have noticed a simple child playing? Preposterous! It's not preposterous, and I can prove it! What sort of foolish? There is no way someone walking along a winding way could not have noticed Pearl. Take that! This urn is my proof. An old cracked clay pot. What is this going to prove? Do you know why it's cracked? It's because Pearl broke it. That's why. She broke the urn? Urgh! Why? Why do I feel like you're about to ruin my beautiful day? This urn was broken around the time the challenge started. Ah! And Pearl was the one who brought it back together. While sitting right in the middle of Winding Way. What?! Miss Miney! Pearl was there, in the Winding Way at the time. She was hard at work, putting the pieces of the urn back together You'll see. You see. If you couldn't see that while you were walking, I have to declare you legally blind! I think I've sufficiently proven one thing, Miss Miney. You are a masterful liar! Mr. Wright, you need to watch what you say. The one who needs to watch what she's saying is the witness! So, Miss Miney, tell us the truth. About what? About what? About where you really were at the time of the murder, of course.
Objection!
The witness just testified about that. That's right! I was, like, sleeping in the side room. Can I really believe her? Was she really sleeping in the side room? No! There's no way. Your lies end here. What do you mean? The witness says that during the actual murder, she was asleep in the side room. I say it's not possible, because there's clearly a contradiction here. Contradiction? Where's this contradiction? Well, she just testified about it. Earlier in your testimony, Miss Miney, you made the following statement. And like, Miss Morgan was the only one in the challenge chamber, you know? It's true that at the time, both myself and Miss Hart were not there. We had gone to call the police. So? Like, what does that mean? Like, what do you have to do with anything? It's very simple. Miss Miney, how did you know that fact? How? I concede that Miss Fay was the only person in the challenge chamber. However, someone who was asleep in the side room could not have known that. Which means, Miss Miney, you did in fact go to the challenge chamber. However, you did not go there by way of the winding way. But look at the manor guide map. If one were to go between the side room and the challenge chamber, one would have to use the winding way. Yes, that's right, Your Honor. Which is why I asked this very important question. Where is the witness at the time of the murder? Miss Miney, please answer the question.
Objection!
Don't ask a question off a baseless assumption, if you please. Huh? Well, I suppose since you've put it out on the table, Mr. Phoenix, right? You might as well answer the question for us. Where was the witness at the time of the murder? Now's your chance, Phoenix. Yeah. The only person who could have killed Dr. Gray was Eenie Miney. And now is that time to prove it. Now then, Mr. Wright, let's hear your answer. Where was the witness when the murder took place? I believe it was in the challenge chamber. Miss Miney was here, of course. What? But that's the challenge chamber. Isn't that the crime scene? That's right. Miss Miney was at the scene of the crime. Order, order, order! That's... Why is the... Ugh! Mr. Phoenix Wright, have you lost your mind? Yesterday's testimony established it's the victim and the defendant when the chamber of the challenge started. Yes, that's correct. Please explain yourself, Mr. Wright. Simple, Miss Eenie Meenie was hiding at the scene of the crime. I was hiding? Where? I'd like to know where I was hiding. Right around here, I believe. Here, of course. Behind the folding screen? Ah! Don't make me say this again! Recall yesterday's testimony! There ain't anyone was hanging out behind the folding screen. Say, you stupid jerk! Quit being quick to pin it on me, slimeball! Now, Miss Miney. One so young as you shouldn't be saying, "Shut it, Gramps!" as if you know exactly how old I am. I'm sorry. Looks like the pipe's about to burst. I guess I should help it along. The witness was hiding behind the folding screen, with the help of this. Miss Miney, How are you able to hide in the scene of the crime? It's very simple. You are hiding inside this box. that tiny little box, no person could fit in there. Sorry, but your theory has already been disproved. Lana disproved you while she was hiding from me in it. But that clothing box is in the side room, right? Which means it was nothing to do with the murder at all. That's right! I was sleeping there, so I would know. That clothing box was there in the side room the whole time. Mr. Wright. Do you think you can prove where the clothing box was at the time? Yes, I can! And now I present the piece of evidence that will prove this clothing box was at the scene of the crime where the murder took place. It should be... let's look here. The hole off the ground, which matches perfectly with this folding screen. Take a look at this clothing box. You're so stupid! Isn't there any sort of evidence in that old thing? Huh? This... what on earth? I don't have time for you to sit there surprised! Hurry and say it already! There's a hole! About 8 inches off the ground! Huh, a hole about 8 inches off the ground! Where have I heard that before? The folding screen. It had been a hole the same height. That's right! I hope this has opened your eyes to what has happened. At the time of the shooting, the clothing box was sitting behind the folding screen. Which is why the bullet from the pistol hit both the box and the folding screen. Went through the screen, then into the box. Miss Miney, you are hiding behind the folding screen, waiting for your chance. Yes, for a chance to kill Dr. Gray. Order! So what you're saying... Then, Mr. Phoenix Wright, what about this picture? Are you saying that the person in this photo is Miss Eenie Miney? That is exactly what I'm saying! Miss Eenie Miney, you were hiding inside the clothing box all along. And you wore a medium's costume to masquerade as Maya Fey. To masquerade as Maya Fey? She had a plan from the very beginning. She would kill Dr. Gray and pin the blame on my client. No! Stop! I can't stand to listen to any more of this foolishness. If that's the case, Mr. Phoenix Wright, then I have a proposition. This whole idea of the witness moved the clothing box to the scene of the crime, pretended to be the defendant, killed the victim, and then fled the scene of the crime. It's not possible for one person to do it all by herself. You are... correct. It really is impossible. For one person to do all the preparations, that is. Ah! I need to remind you that foolish receive no mercy. Wait! Miss Von Karma, you said it was not possible for one person, correct? What? You can't be serious. Miss Miney, you had an accomplice. And it was Morgan Fay. This person! If it wasn't someone from the Korean village, you couldn't have gotten the costume. If it wasn't someone from the Fay household, you wouldn't have had that box to use. Morgan Fay. Isn't that the wonderful lady witness we had earlier? What do you have to say to this, Miss Miney? You shot Dr. Gray with your own 2 hands. Do you deny it? I think this is what really happened. The murderer had planted herself at the scene of the crime long beforehand. Dressed in a medium's costume and wearing a wig, she pretended to be the defendant. And then, the channeling started. The murderer crept silently towards the other 2, both of whom had their eyes closed. First, she drugged Maya Fey with a strong sleeping agent. Then, she stabbed Dr. Gray with a knife. Next, she hid my client inside the clothing box. She did that so she could take Maya's place and frame her for the crime. But that's when something unexpected happened. Unexpected? Yes. Dr. Gray was not actually yet dead. In the last of his strength, he fired a shot at his attacker. That was why the hole in the folding screen was so low on the ground. The murderer then took the gun from Dr. Gray and... After that, you and the other lady thought to break into the room? Yes, a gunshot is clearly something you wouldn't expect to hear. Which is why, on hearing the shots, you forced our way into the channeling chamber. Miss Miney, she immediately covered her own costume with blood and pretended to be Maya Fey. But that sort of deception would have been easy to see through, which is precisely why Morgan Fey chased us out. Please leave this area to me. Go quickly and inform the police. Hurry, before there are more victims here. What is one supposed to say? This is the real truth behind this murder. Who is that? Laughing at a time like this? Ugh! Oh, you simple-minded fools. I'm sorry. Are you still by chance evolving? What is that? What is it this time? Miss Von Karma? Surely. Of course it was me. Do you really think someone of Von Karma blood would lose due to something this petty? What in the world? Mr. Phoenix Wright, your argument is flawed in one very crucial area. And that is? If this witness is the real murderer, why would she go through all this trouble? Huh? Working together with a medium, pretending to be one, putting on this whole act. What reason would she have to do such foolish things? Well, that's yeah, that's right. That's exactly what I was gonna say. Oh, and one other thing. Why would Miss Miney want to kill Dr. Gray? What is her motive? Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted to say too. Yeah, motive. I would have a motive. A motive? That's... I guess she has no motive here. I have to think of a motive now. What's her reason for wanting Dr. Gray dead? Other than her sister. The reason why Dr. Gray dead is... because she herself was in a car accident. Other than that, let's bring up the more obvious one. Ha! Just as I thought! You bore me with your silly answers, Phoenix Wright. Just great. Not even she is calling me by my full name. You think I did this to get revenge on my sister's death? Yes. Because through that accident, you suffered a lot of hurt and pain yourself. Don't be stupid! No one has proof of Dr. Gray drugged my sister, right? And you want to say I wanted to take revenge based on nothing? What do you mean by that? Senile, stupid Gramps. I'm, going to explain, so, please listen, okay? It's been over half a year since I was discharged from the hospital. If I, wanted revenge, then, I didn't have to wait long. And besides, the guy that thought there was a spirit thing was, Dr. Gray. It was, a total coincidence he asked me about it, you know? She's back to her airhead self. However, you see... Pathetic, Mr. Phoenix Wright. You fail to support your own theory. The end. I think we have our answer, Mr. Phoenix Wright. What Miss Miney has stated is very true. The revenge plan is overly complicated, and she has no motive in the first place. Furthermore, there is no reason for Miss Morgan Fay to cooperate with this plan. You don't even have any truly decisive pieces of evidence to just demonstrate your point. So many faults, Mr. Phoenix Wright. You should really learn your place. What happened? I thought I had it for sure. See, that's what I, told you. Huh? I'm going to serve you a slice of humble pie. Very well. I now conclude the cross-examination of Miss Miney. Your Honor, please allow the defense 1 more minute. All right. You can't lose here. Have faith in yourself, Phoenix. Mia. Yes, it does sound a little ridiculous. The messed up plan for a murder. But, regardless, that girl trained for this crime. Really? Listen, Phoenix. Everything happens for a reason. There is a reason why she had to kill Dr. Gray. And it is also the reason she had no choice but to kill him in this fashion. Time is up, Mr. Wright. Your final answer, please. If you want to say that you can prove Miss Miney had a motive, then why did she kill the victim in this way? Can you provide a reason? Can I really do this? This is my last shot. Yes! I'm not totally confident here, but I know that I must press on no matter what. That's right, Phoenix. Only you can do this now. I will show and substantiate the fact that Miss Miney had a motive. Too bad, you're too late. My cross-examination has already ended after all. Interesting. I'll let you have your chance, Mr. Phoenix Wright. What? You're supposed to be on my side. Avant Karma only cares about a perfect win. As long as you have the will to fight, I will knock you down, Mr. Phoenix Wright. And I don't care if you are my witness. So help me, I will blow you out of my way. No way. Very well. The court will take a 5-minute recess. I will continue the cross-examination after we reconvene. Hey, wait a second! Ooh, thank you, Von Karma. If she had just been quiet, she would have won. Twice. If she was quiet the first day, we wouldn't be here the second. It's a good thing she's very stubborn. Well, I'm gonna give my throat a rest. All this shouting takes a lot out of you. I'm Luigi on 64D, and this was Let's Play Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, Justice for All. See you next time.